This is not an album exchange. What we watched is two people reconnecting after going through the darkest places in their own mind. But while it may seem highly emotionally charged, it is also profoundly insightful as RM and Jimin let us in on some of the more intimate details about their struggles and the relationship they have with each other. One of the things that stood out to me is Jimin's high emotional quotient. He sounds like a professional therapist. Jimin, of course, has always demonstrated his emotional intelligence, but it was on full display here. He used several types of empathic responses. For context, empathy is an elusive subject in the psych community primarily because one's psyche is affected by personal experiences and current situations. But in marketing and communication, empathic strategies is actually highly encouraged and highly studied. Because communication and marketing is all about connecting with the person or people you're talking with. Attempts have been made to identify several effective empathic responses. Research revealed that there are two types of empathy: cognitive empathy and emotional empathy. Now, I don't really want to go too academic. I just want people to see and realize and notice just how mature Jimin is when he communicates with other people. So I'll just go through some of the major points. Some of the most effective empathic responses are active listening, where you just let the other person talk and you just acknowledge to let them know that you're listening to them. Validation, where you let the other person know that what they feel is justified and that you understand. Action, which offers support or provides solution or do whatever is necessary to make the other person feel heard and valued. And then there's clarifying, where you repeat what the other person said to make them realize you understand truly. There's character boosting, when you actually make the other person realize the good side of what they have experienced and what it says about their personality. Even for professional therapists, there are 5 general empathic responses that a therapist would use, and Jimin actually used some of them. There's empathic understanding, where you use statements to concretize the emotion of the person. Empathic affirmation, using statements that what they are feeling is okay or normal. Empathic evocation, using statements to place the person you're talking to in an imaginative situation but more familiar in concept. And then there's empathic exploration, using statements that will further expound on the emotion. And then there's empathic conjecture, using statements that would help form an end goal. I won't go through all the instances he used empathic responses. This will end up being about him. So if you want me to do that, I'm just going to create another video. But here are some instances. When RM said he was too intense, Jimin immediately said it was because of that BTS has actually come very far. And when RM tried to downplay it, Jimin insisted it was a fact. Jimin knew when to pull RM back to a practical state, and you can see RM's appreciation for the words. This is character boosting. In another part, he used empathic exploration. RM was sharing about the concept of right and wrong and how the concept could change. Jimin said that when he thinks about being wrong, he also questions what made it wrong, who decided it was wrong. Another part, Jimin also used empathic conjecture. Jimin told RM what armies wanted to tell RM all this time, that if he needed a break, if he needs to figure things out, just tell us and we will be there. Jimin is a comforting figure, not just because he is soft-spoken, but because he knows how to explore the cognitive side of an emotion.
I have always been a fan of this unit, RM and Jimin, because I think they jive in the way that they think. All members of BTS have depth, for sure. It's just that I think the way that these two processes their thoughts, they complement each other so well. And so I really like listening to the both of them when they're having conversations. But this is the first time when I actually heard them like sit down this long, just the two of them, and talk. And we got so much out of it. Now, there are some things as well that I will be discussing in this video that is not just that are not just on their conversation, but also just a general reflection on this album of RM. All right. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification button, and share the video if you can. Onto the video.
How do you lead men who don't need to be led? When Jimin asked RM, "Are you ready to be the BTS's leader again when we reunite?" and RM said no, I felt that in my gut because he is going to be leading a different band when they reunite. They are not the same seven boys from 12 years ago trying to just get a spot at a music show. They're not the same boys forced to sleep in one bedroom. They all have successful solo careers. They're starting to get to know who they are as individuals and as solo musicians. Billboard Hot 100 number ones, a world tour headlining a music festival, everyone selling millions of albums. How do you lead men who know for sure they don't need to be led? It's like having to start from the beginning, but instead of being given a clean slate, you were given pieces of different puzzles, and it's up to you on how to find how each piece will go together so that you can form a beautiful, perfect picture. And this is after you just confronted your own demons. It's maddening to even think about it. Imagine how RM feels knowing he has to be the one that will have to do it. As a fan, I take comfort in knowing that the reason they managed to succeed together all this time was their respect and love for each other. That's one. Ability to compromise. That's two. Number three, putting the group above themselves. And of course, probably the most important, their brains. I know that they are smart enough to know that coming back together as a group will serve many different objectives. For one, it's going to rekindle their relationship with armies. Second, it's going to again jumpstart their solo releases. And it will finish the business they were forced to abandon because of the pandemic. It is scary, but also exciting. And that's what ARMY and BTS have always done well together. Jin's role is underestimated by many. When Jimin said he saw how lost RM was when Jin enlisted, RM said he also didn't know how he was feeling, and that's why he couldn't go to the members to confide. We have always known Jin is the reliable, goofy eldest member, but moments like this actually reminds us of the grounding role Jin plays in the group. Jin seems to be the stabilizer of the group, the one who keeps people grounded and centered. In the midst of creative perfectionists, Jin seems to be that one person that pulls people into a stop to make them realize it's good enough, that they are good enough, especially RM. RM has consistently, however gently, expressed how much he actually relies on Jin. While each member has never been the one to brag about their contribution to the group, it's especially hard to see Jin's contribution because he really has no formal leader role. RM is the leader, J-Hope is the performance leader, Suga is the producer. Jin, he's the eldest, the maknae collector, Jungkook's partner in crime. This moment here, however, shows that Jin is in fact the one that controls the chaos. He sucks in the tension so that things could clear up for people to actually see what they have in front of them. He is coming back in a little over 10 days, and I am sure we are all going to work together to give him the year he couldn't have because he enlisted first. Suga was the bridge, while Jin and J-Hope were serving, while RM was dealing with personal struggles, while the maknae line, for the first time, were actually preparing for their solo projects. Suga was the one who bridged the gap between BTS and ARMY, long enough until Jin actually returns. The genius Min PD just keeps on surprising me. When he decided to go on tour and said he's doing it because he's the only one who can at this stage, I didn't really take it for more than what he said. After this album exchanged, I realized that he may have seen this in one way or another. He knew in a way no one else did, because the truth is that he could have enlisted earlier and got out earlier because he would have actually be serving the longest. Deciding to cram all dates in 3 months just to make it happen was next level Minstradamus and next level Min genius. RM's leadership is underappreciated. If being a leader is easy, then every group before BTS would have made it as big as they did. RM was barely legal when BTS started making some headway to the West. He had to do most of the interviews because he is the only one who can speak English. He was 23 and he had to represent his group, his agency, and his damn country to the media. He just knew at that age that whatever he says will be a reflection of the entertainment industry of Korea, even though it shouldn't. He said that in the book. Apart from this, he was writing albums upon albums with classic literature themes. Even literature majors find hard to understand. And then he has to translate that to a language that ordinary people will appreciate enough to buy. He had to lead six other men who were also growing up with their own temperaments and pent up creative brilliance. He had that weight on his shoulder, plus the weight of the other six members, and look at where they are now. Each member flourishing, and all of them still together. They know each other more than they know themselves. When RM said he was feeling so down when Jin enlisted, Jimin confirmed they saw how down he was feeling, to which RM said he couldn't confide to the members as he himself was still confused about how he felt. These guys are connected by some indestructible string of faith forged by Zeus or something. I remember Suga said he doesn't let his bandmates hear his tracks before he releases them because they know each other too well, that he would know what they're thinking even before they say those words. Jimin himself attested to this when he finally confided to his bandmates that he was going through a hard time during the pandemic. And BTS said they already knew. But it's also a relief, based on what they are saying, that they all seem to know when to step back and let the person deal with his own struggles, knowing that when they are ready, they will open up and the rest of the members will be there. In his most personal album yet, he let go. ARMYs know just how much creative control BTS exercises in their music. It is theirs through and through. So I found it absolutely disarming when RM said he didn't want to be the one doing everything in this album, an album he seemed to imply as his most personal yet. He wrote the lyrics, but he mostly received the beats from other composers through a writing camp. It felt like it was his catharsis, a way to free himself from his self-imposed rule of 100% creative control. Him setting himself free has resulted to one of the best albums ever to come out of modern history. He needed to keep a record of this part of his life. Everything has an expiration date. This is probably the most disarming statement he ever made in this whole episode because it is applicable to everyone in almost everything that we do. Everything has an expiration date. It is both sad and liberating. You can't be with someone forever because someday one will pass. You can't keep your children forever because someday they will grow up and live their own lives. You can't be the boss forever because someday you will be too old to lead. You can't be friends with someone forever because someday one will have to leave and move on. It could be discouraging to think this way, but we could also take it the way RM has taken it. Do your best to keep a record of it, to preserve it in a way others can consume it or use. Don't be scared to fall in love and start a relationship. Even though it may end, just make sure that you love as fiercely as you can. Don't be afraid to start an artwork, even though it will someday be lost. Just make it as beautiful as you can, and maybe someone will take it and display it in their home. Don't be afraid to start a business, even if you know someday you will have to close it. Just try to help as many people as you can. Everything has an expiration date, so all we can do is make the most out of it while we are still here. That's RM for you, reminding everybody through his personal experience the importance of freezing our experiences that others may benefit from. Being normal is the worst possible thing we can do. They can't do something predictable. They have pushed the boundaries so far as a group and as individual artists for them to pick up a formula and use it for their next album. The pressure is still there and they are very much aware of it. It goes back to them coming together after they have evolved as individual artists, after each has succeeded and made their mark. What can they do to shock the world in a good way? What else can they do to reaffirm their identities? But most of all, what can they do that will satiate all of their creative desires? It's actually making me wish that maybe they shouldn't rush it. Maybe in 2025, when everyone is done with their military service, they take their time just to get used to being seven again, to get a feel of who they have become after their solo ventures, to rediscover each other first, so that when they come together as seven, as artists, it will be the kind of art that they want and not the kind of art they feel they have to put out. It's like living a second life. RM was talking about having two modes when he was in BTS, on or off, and he said he wished there was a way he could just dim it. Jimin asked if that's even possible because that would mean you're living two lives. It just made me wonder if that's possible. I've always loved being a writer because it allows me to live different lives. Is there anybody out there who are actually living two lives or multiple lives? How many of us have the privilege of being someone else in our jobs and a different person in our homes? How many of us can switch between worlds? And are you enjoying it? Tell us about it in the comment section.
This is the first time that they have actually, that one of them has actually openly talked about the heartache that they went through because of this military enlistment. And it breaks my heart to hear him say those things and to realize that they felt all of those things. But to a certain degree, I'm also glad that at least he was able to express. I'm sure there's more there. He had to hold back, of course, but at least he was able to air out a little bit of the heartbreak. So I guess I admired them even more, that they were able to show grace and class through those cheap attempts at breaking them apart. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts, so leave them in the comment section below. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. Please be respectful though. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and share the video if you can. Also, you can always get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. Follow me on Patreon, please, and also on X or Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you.